Hi guys! Today we are working with perimeter part 1. But before we do that, we're going to wake our brains up. So we're going to begin with reviewing a little bit about area. What is the area of the shape below? Of course, you can pause the video, then come on back and I'll show you what it is. Okay, to count area, remember that means that we're counting on the inside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is 19 square units. Now, as we talked about during our lessons, you can always take and kind of picture something in your mind to sort of help you. So you could have pictured these four. A 4 by 2 would have been 8. And then you could have pictured right here, this is a 2 by 3, which would be 6. So we've got 14. And then count your extras, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So you can do it that way as well. All right, let's try the next wake up. Here's our second wake up. All right, what could go in each blank? Be ready to share your answers and how you got them. That's what we did in group today. So you could go ahead and just fill your answers in and check back with me and I'll tell you what they are. Okay, so in order to figure this out, we need this number to equal 12. So 8 plus 4 is 12. 6 plus what equals 22? All right, so when we're trying to figure this out, then we're going to subtract. So that's what I did here. I did 12 take away 8 gave me 4. So I'm going to do 22, and I'm going to take away 6, and that is going to give me 16, so that I know that 6 plus 16 is going to actually give me 22. All right, 13 plus something is 38, so we're going to use that subtraction practice again. So I'm going to say 38, and I am going to subtract 13, and that gives me 25. So I know if I add those two together, I will have the 38. All right, again, let's go ahead and use the subtraction. So I'm going to take 33, and I am going to subtract 14, and that will give me 19. So 14 plus 19 equals 33. I hope you use that inverse relationship in order to figure out a missing blank. All right, our third, wake up your brain. And this is going to take a lot of waking up your brain. So what they want you to do here is how many dollars and quarters do you need to buy each item? So pause the video, figure all of these out, then come on back and we'll talk about it. Okay. First of all, I want you to notice that when we had $5.50 right here, notice that was $5 and then 2 quarters because that made 50 cents. That was the example that you had. So my little hoe there, or my little Reiki thing, is $2.75. So I'm going to say it's $2, and then I'm going to use 3 quarters because we have 25, 50, 75. The next one, it says how many dollars and how many quarters. You could have done this. Well, there's always lots of different ways you could do this. But for this case, I could have done $1 and no quarters, or I could have done 4 quarters. Okay. The next one is $2.25. So I'm going to say I'm going to use the $2 and I need 1 quarter because that would be 25 cents. The next one is $3.75, so I'm going to use $3, and then I'm going to use 3 quarters because that's at 25, 50, 75. And the last one, how many dollars and how many quarters? I used $6 and I used 2 quarters because that's 50 cents, although there were many different ways that you could have done this. All right, now we're going to start with perimeter part 1. Now I want you to notice that in class we actually watch this brain pop video, but what you can do is you can copy this down and you can go ahead and watch it for yourself. It's a great introduction. Notice that the CC Tomahawk and Brain Pop are the username and password so that you can get into this. But this is a great explanation of what perimeter is. Okay, I'm going to tell you another explanation about what perimeter is. So it says the blue around the soccer field is the perimeter. It is the outside edges going around all the field. So we've talked about area, which was inside here. This is the area, okay? And we've already discussed that. So now we're on perimeter, and perimeter is going to be the part around the area. This is almost that section that is the fence line for things. All right, so most of the time perimeter is found by measuring the lengths of the sides of the figure. And once you measure all the sides, then you're just adding them up. So notice I have 3 here, I have 3 here, I have 3 here, and I have 3 here. So we did 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. Now this was measured in centimeters, and it's important that you use whatever. This happens to be centimeters. There's a difference. You might use feet, you might use centimeters, you might use inches, you might use meters, you might use miles. It just depends on how you're measuring something, okay? You might use yards. These are all ways that kind of measure length. All right, in this case, we actually, because they were all the same, we could have said 4 times 3 is 12, and that could have given us our 12 centimeters. So we can use multiplication and addition here as well when we're finding perimeter. All right, so what is the perimeter here? All right, go ahead, pause the video and come on back. All right, first thing I want you to really pay attention to is notice that this is a quadrilateral. It's also a parallelogram. Notice that this side and this side are the very same length, so they're both 6 centimeters, okay? And this side and this side are both the same length as well. So in reality, I didn't need this here. If I already know that this is 6 and this is 4, then I know that the other side is going to be 6 and 4 as well. So I actually had, this is 20 centimeters. Now you could have added them all up and you would have gotten 20, or you could have thought to yourself, if I have something on one side, I'm going to have it on the other side as well. I want you to keep that in mind. All right, what's the perimeter here? All right, if you took your 5 and your 5, which gave you 10, and 4 is 14, and 2 is 16, that would have given you 16 centimeters. What is the perimeter here? Okay, notice that I have 5 and 5. I like to combine some things. That's 10, and then I have 3, which is 13, and 6, which is 16, and then 3 more, which is 19, 20, 21, 22, and this is 22. So I have 22 centimeters for my perimeter. Again, it's the outside edge. All right, what's the perimeter here? Okay, I would combine my 6 and 6, which is 12, and then 8, which is 20. So I have 20 centimeters. What is the perimeter here? Okay, the first thing that I notice is that I am no longer using centimeters. I'm actually using feet. So I probably would combine my 4 and my 4, which would be 8, and 5, which is 13, and then 3, which is 16. So I would have 16 feet around there. What's the perimeter here? All right, I notice that I am now in yards. I'm measuring in yards. That's the units. So behind my answer, I need to have yards. I have 10 yards and 8 yards, which is 18, and 5 yards, which is 23. So 23 yards. You actually might see it like this too. Something like that. 23 yards is the perimeter. What's the perimeter here? We're getting a little fancy now. Okay, notice all the shapes that we were doing before were kind of a shape that we recognized. This is really not a specific shape we recognize. So we have to see that this whole length has been measured, which is 3. This whole length, which is measured, which is 3. Notice this little measurement was only 2, but we have an additional measurement of 4, and then an additional measurement of 1, and an additional measurement of 7. So this has a lot of components into it. All we have to do is add all these up, and these, I believe, are measured in meters. So that's what the M's for. So we have 3, 6, 7, 8, and 4 is 12, 13, and 7 is 20. So we have 20 meters. That's what the perimeter is here, 20 meters. What's the perimeter? Aha, I left out some missing things. Let's see if you can get it. Okay, if this is 4 feet, and I know that on the other side, this is a rectangle, so I know that 2 sides are going to be equal, then I know that 4 feet has to be over there, even though it's not listed. And if this is 2 feet over here, then I know, because it's a rectangle, it's going to have, the other side is going to be equal as well. This is also going to be 2 feet. Now I can go ahead and get them all together. So 4 and 2 is 6, and then 4 and 2 is 6, so I would have, this is 12 feet is the perimeter all the way around it. What's the perimeter? There's a lot of missing things. Okay, the first thing that I would recognize is that this is a square, or it should be a square shape. I intended it for it to be a square shape. So if that's the case, then what we know about a square is that all sides are equal. So if this is 7 centimeters, then this is also going to be 7 centimeters. This is also going to be 7 centimeters, and so is this. So now I can just use multiplication. 4 times 7 is 28. So I have 28 centimeters. Okay, what's the perimeter? I left out a few things. Okay, if you notice, if this side is 6 and this is the same length, this is going to be 6 centimeters also. This is 1, so that means that this one is also going to be 1. So I have 6 and 6 is 12, 13, 14. So I have, and that's centimeters, 14 centimeters is what you should have gotten. All right, ooh, this one's tricky. Can you figure out what's missing? There are some missing sides. And can you figure out what the perimeter is? Okay. First of all, let's do what we know. All right. I know that this is 6 inches, and I know that this is 6 inches. Now there is a mystery here. We've got a caterpillar there. All right. But if these are all 6 inches, can you almost kind of see a little box in there, like a square? So this is going to be 6 inches also, even though they did not show us that 6 inches. Now, notice this is half of that 6 inches. That's why we have 3. We have another 6 inches. We have nothing here. But what do we know about a square? A square is going to have the same amount. So this is going to be 6 inches also. We have 6 inches here. We have 3 inches here again because it is half of my square. So I filled in my 6 inches on both sides. Now we need to add them all up to find the perimeter, because the perimeter is the outside edges of everything. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sixes. So 6 times 6 is 36. And then I've got, I'll put it in a different color. Then I've got a 3 and I've got a 3. So I have an additional 6 that I'm going to add on. So if I add an additional 6, that gives me 42. So this perimeter is actually 42 inches. Hope you got that one. All right, what's the perimeter here? There's something missing. All right. First thing I want you to notice is that this says a 2. That's 24 down there. Didn't come out very good. All right, first thing that I want you to notice is that we have 24 going along here. All right, we have 18 going here. That means that there is, well, and I've got 9 on this side, but I have nothing here. This is kind of the mystery, and this, of course, is 15. All right, but this is my mystery that I have to figure out ahead of time before I can even move on. Well, I know if this side is 18, then this side has to be 18, but I already have 9 of that accounted for. So that means that this side is going to have to be 9 because 9 and 9 is 18. So I'm going to combine my 15 and my 18. I'm going to put that over here. 15 plus 18 gives me 33. Then I'm going to add 24. So I'm going to take that 33 and I'm going to add 24. And then I'm going to add my 9 and 9. So that's another 18. So I'm going to take the 57 and I'm going to add 18, which means 15, 5, 6, 7. All right, and I think I've counted them all, which means that this is 75 feet. That is going to be my perimeter, 75 feet. So this is one of the bigger ones that we've had. Okay, this is quite the challenge question. So what I want you to do is pause the video and come on back and I will show you what to do. I do want you to keep in mind that it says that this has a perimeter of 23 feet. That's going to be important information, okay? Try it out and come on back. Okay, first thing I want you to notice is that if it's 6 feet here, it's going to also be 6 feet here, even though it didn't tell me. If it is 4 feet here, then it is also going to be 4 feet there, even though it did not tell me, okay, because the two sides are the same. Now, if I have 6 and 4, this gives me 10, and if I have 6 and 4, this gives me 10. Now, notice that it says it's only 23 feet. So if it's 23 feet, I have 20 right now, which is going to tell me what my missing number is. This one is going to be 3 because 10 and 10 and 3 is 23. So I am labeling this as 3 feet. And I hope you got that challenge. That was really tricky. Okay, and this slide right here talks about a short video that we watched in class, in our Zoom class, that really tells you what perimeter is and how to find it, and it's got some kind of funny parts to it, so that's why I have my LOL there. But anyway, pause the video, copy this down, take a look at it, and then you'll be right on track with the rest of the kids. All right, guys, great job today with perimeter part 1. Look for perimeter part 2 coming to a theater near you. Until next time, bye-bye.